Father Charlie Shilufa, Chair of the Bakita Partnership for Education, Assisted Dr. Jane Wakaru, Hilton Foundation Associate Vice President, Head of Catholic Sister Dr. Rosemary Nirumbe, Director of the Saint Monica's Girls Tailoring Center. I don't know if Mrs. Antara is here. I don't see her. The UN Girls Education Initiative, Ungai, colleague from the UN Women, colleague from AU CIEFFA. I don't know also if the representative of the Fordham University are here, those who are welcoming us, the development partners, the youth-led and civil society organizations, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I hope that I'm not forgetting any important person here. I would like to welcome you on behalf of His Excellency Mohamed Bel Hossein, our Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation of the African Union Commission, to this important side event on the margin of the UN SDG Summit under the theme which I would like to recall: empowering the African girl child through transformating education, capitalizing on Catholic education for sustainable change. The African Union CIEFFA is honored to co-host this session with the Bakita Partnership for Education and the Hilton Foundation. First of all, allow me to briefly introduce you to the African Union International Center for Girls and Women Education in Africa, which is a technical and specialized institution of the African Union under the Department of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation. Our office is based in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. For those who don't know, Burkina Faso is in West Africa. And Burkina Faso is also a member of the African Union. And Burkina Faso has hosted this center, but the center is working with all African Union member states. And our command is to coordinate and to promote girls and women education within all AU member states in the view of achieving the economic, social, and cultural empowerment. The mission of the AU CIEFFA is aligned with the vision of the African Union Agenda 2063, the Continental Education Strategy for Africa, CESA 1625, the Science and Technology and Innovation Strategy for Africa, STISA 2014 to 2024, the Maputo Protocol on Women's Rights, and of course the UN Sustainable Development Goal 4 and 5, among various African and global frameworks pertaining to girls and women's rights for education and their connected rights. But for those rights to happen, you agree with me that there is an urgent need to invest, and someone say it, in girls and women education across our member states for the full operationalization of the Aspiration 6 of the AU Agenda 2063, which aims to create, and I quote, an Africa whose development is people-driven, relying on the potential offered by African people, particularly its women and youth, while also prioritizing the well-being of children. Ladies and gentlemen, if women and youth are those who should drive for a prosperous Africa, then I fully understand why we are gathering here on the margin of the UN SDG Summit, because various statistics and figures on girls and women education and the empowerment are still alarmist in our continent and remain the evidence to underscore the pressing need and urgency of investing in girls' education. According to the World Economic Forum report, in Africa, 32.6 million girls of both primary and lower secondary school are out of school within 9.3 million of them likely to never set foot in a classroom. Further evidence points to a loss of lifetime productivity and earnings for countries, amounting to between $15 and $13 trillion due to a lack of girls' secondary education. This demonstrates how girls' education is not only a socio-political issue, but an economic one as well. The empowerment of African girls and women should then comprise of education and training systems that carry this as fundamental component to fuel the social, economic, and political spheres of human development. In echo to this, a World Bank report stated that every additional year of schooling for girls can increase the future earnings by 10 to 20%. I'm even afraid to mention the diverse statistic girls who became out of school in sub-Saharan Africa due to COVID-19 related school closures. Anyway, just let me mention the UNESCO estimation in March 2021, reporting that 11 million girls might not return to class after the reopening of school, which signals a significant learning loss and opportunity for Africa's progress and development. Since opening of school, we need together to get accurate statistics despite challenges of the collection and the reliability. Dear participants, to tackle these challenges, the AU CIEFFA is currently implementing its third strategic plan from 2021 to 2025. Our strategic plan is underpinned by 4 key strategic axes. The first one is the gender-responsive education frameworks. The second one is the curriculum reform and teacher education. The third one is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and skills development. And the fourth one is education in emergency and humanitarian context. I think that you can get the strategic plan in our website. We further have flagship programs in which we engage African Union member states and explore collaboration effort and strategic partnership with key stakeholders to champion girls' education. This flagship program includes what we call the high-level dialogue on gender equality in education that we host every year on the margin of the AU Summit, always aligned with the declared AU theme of the year. We also involve youth leadership to champion for girls' education within their communities. And that's why the AU CIEFFA holds annually the youth capacity building workshops on gender equality in education. There is also one of our flagship programs, which I can't afford to mention here, which we call the Africa Educate Her campaign. We also have our focal point meeting within Ministry of Education, and we also have a dialogue, of course, with traditional and religious leaders. The African Union CIEFFA works with African Union member states, development partners, CSO, NGOs, African youth, and faith-based organizations. With regards to the dialogue with traditional leaders, we value their role and their contribution in combating challenges and obstacles that hinder girls' education in Africa, including child marriage, early pregnancy, and gender-based violence, among all those that you have related already here. As you can see, this meeting is called at an opportune moment when African Union will dedicate the year 2024 to education on this overall theme, which is titled Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, Building Resilient Education System for Increased Access to Inclusive, Lifelong, Quality, and relevant learning in Africa. AU member states have been requested to take affirmative action to transform education. And sisters saying now, who are we transforming? How do we transform them? In Africa, and promote gender equality in education. In 2022, the Transforming Education Summit was an opportune moment for education actors to commit to promote gender equality in and through education. Let me now wear my hat of a Catholic believer to say that the Catholic education has been instrumental in many African countries to provide education opportunities. I would like to recognize that Catholic boarding schools have particularly contributed to foster a generation of educated African women steeped in values such as self-discipline, hard work, loyalty, and patriotism. How and why? This is just because boarding school contribute to enhance their self-confidence and to provide them with discipline through their set timetables and strict rules. In addition of boarding schools, most of Catholic schools provide school feeding to learners, as we know that an empty stomach can lead to an empty mind. We hope that our discussion will contribute in leveraging the contribution of the Catholic education in the empowerment of the girl child through transformative education. Empowering girls through education can help break cycles of poverty and inequality that hinder the development of many African countries, and can help reduce the prevalence of harmful practices such as female genital mutilation, which we usually call FGM, and early marriage, which are common in many African cultures. From what we know, the Catholic schools often have a strong emphasis on social justice and community service, which can help girls develop a sense of responsibility and compassion for others. These values also help girls develop a strong sense of self-worth and self-respect. As we advocate to capitalize on the opportunity of the Catholic education for empowering the African girl child, we are calling on collective effort to provide safe and inclusive learning environment, and also to offer vocational training and mentorship programs that prepare girls for the workforce and help them develop the skills and confidence they need to succeed in their careers. Dear partners, I think that this event also offers an opportunity to the African Union CIEFFA to call for the popularization and the implementation of the Africa Educator campaign, launched in September 2020 to rally African Union member states to safeguard girls' education in Africa and ensure girls continue learning during and post the COVID-19 related school closure and disruption. As we embark for the implementation of the campaign at the national level, we are seeing a collaborative opportunity to use the campaign as a platform to build resilient educational system. Let me also recall the AU Dakar Declaration on assessing learning losses to embrace learning recovery for African girls, adopted by 33 African Union member states and various development partners, which will ensure girls and women's continuing learning, as well as strengthening effort in promoting digital literacy for learners and teachers through its integration in learning recovery strategies and acceleration of digital transformation in education. Let me also recall that the last year, on the 20th of September in New York, the African Union, in collaboration with UNESCO, UNICEF, and a number of partners, have adopted a declaration on transforming education in Africa, with commitment on bridging the gaps towards the attainment of the education-related objective in Africa, including a call to African Union member states to consider education to be the AU theme of the year for 2024, and I said it, which was done during the 36th ordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government. This is a significant step towards spotlighting and maintaining education as a centerpiece of Africa's development agenda and a targeted tool to ensure social, cultural, economic, and political participation by all, including girls and women. Ladies and gentlemen, providing solutions and the implementation of agreed commitments is our moral responsibility and obligation as duty bearers charged with addressing the education crisis, especially in Africa. We must collectively and decisively get education back on track. The AU reiterates its commitment and will continue to play its roles in mobilizing and coordinating continental actors so that together we can develop vibrant and resilient education and skills development systems that drive Africa's economy. As I conclude here, I wish to reiterate that the African Union CIEFFA support AU member states in adopting affirmative action and policies to encourage girls to return to school through the Africa Educator campaign. We believe that there are significant pockets of collaboration, and through this meeting, we wish to increase your understanding of the African Union CIEFFA mandate and the strategic plan in view of championing girls and women education, as well our campaign, and reach a consensus on a collaborative way of working with all of you in implementing this campaign. Achieving progress for girls and women education is dependent on various factors. Strengthening partnership and advocacy driven by accurate and disaggregated data, as well as targeted strategies. So I would like to stop from here because I think that my speech was a bit long. I could continue talking, but I think we still have a panel discussion where we still bring our different expertise and our different recommendations. I thank you.